Let's see.
Hello, Ketosis Mom followers and Amazon shoppers. Welcome to today's deal stream. This is Joe and my very first time attempting a deal stream, and so we were constantly changing our things out based on what is on deal right now. We are going to be sponsored today by NuWave OxyPure Air Purifier, and we're going to show you some of the details about that and why it is that we love it in our home. I like to always start right here in my Amazon storefront page because it is ever changing. And I always get a lot of questions about where can I find this? Where is it now? Where has it moved? Everything's just all together. There is something new at the very top. It's called Curations. You can look right up here. And if you are looking for a social media post, you are likely going to find it right up here in Curations. So you don't have to even go through the rest of the storefront. We additionally have some new series going on called This or That. So we are comparing two like and similar items for this and that, and you can view all of those videos in the video section of our storefront as well if you like videos like that. We are going to go ahead and get started today. I am going to first tell you all that Joe is very, very excited for today's stream, okay? He is going to go over our very first product, which is the NuWave OxyPure Smart Air Purifier that we use in our home. So any kinds of questions that you all have, make sure that you are feeding them through. I'm going to be looking at the comments and then also asking him any questions that you all have. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Say hello to Joe.
These deals are bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. I am obviously not wearing my hat today, but I do have a giant banana costume on, at least for right now.
He's excited.
Right.
He's excited.
So let's go over this NuWave air purifier. So one thing, I can't really show it, but you have your power function, your auto function. It does have a cleaning function as well.
I might be able to lean
just
down
let me know if it's in there.
There we go.
You can have a fan speed, timer, turbo, air, odor. Now, all this can be controlled via an app, which is what Jen usually does. She controls it via an app. That way you don't have to worry about all this. But let's say you have a stinky dog in the room. The odor function will come up. If the air quality goes down for any reason, you'll see that go up as well. We obviously have been using this. You can remove the top if you need that done. You can see it. Can you see down here, Jen?
Yes. Let me point it. All right.
I just want to show everybody. I recently just did this myself. It does have certain filters that you can clean, certain filters that you can replace. They all pull out like this. This is the one that you can clean yourself. Then you do have other filters that you can replace, and it does have a notification on the top of the unit as well for that. There are a couple of lights here and here that'll tell you, filter 2 needs to be replaced, filter 4 needs to be replaced or cleaned.
Correct.
You have that all up on the top. So,
and we've only had one filter so far that needed to be replaced.
And I think we have to replace the filter 4, but I cleaned filter 2.
So one thing that I really, really, really like about this air purifier is, one, it's huge. It covers, I believe it's just under 2,700 square feet of a whole home. This will filter the whole home. Before, we were using smaller filters in individual rooms, and then we were also having to change those filters out like every 2 or 3 months, right? A lot of the filters last 20 years. Yes, 20 years. They can last up to 20 years. The one that Joe was showing you that you guys pull out and you wash yourself, that is about every 3 months.
I think it's every 6.
It's every 6? Okay.
Yeah,
because I was going to say, we've had that since before Christmas.
Yeah, and I think the filter 4 is the one that gets replaced annually, but the filter 1 and 3 are good for an extended period of time.
So this is a HEPA filter, a carbon filter. I mean, there's so many different filters. And then there's also the initial grate that's on top that acts as almost a 5th filter for this. Yeah. So when you guys open up the listing page, it'll list out for you all the different filters that are within this one unit. And to me, I just feel like having this work for the entire home. And last fall, I will be honest with you guys, last fall we had a rough time, didn't we? Everyone was having allergies. Everyone was getting sick. It was the back to school time, and we were putting air purifiers everywhere. And New Wave saw on social media that I was putting all these air filters everywhere, and they said, hey, we have a whole home air purifier that we would like for you to try and see if it helps your family. And honestly, I feel like it has. I feel like it has helped a lot. And we always laugh. We used to have this set up near our dining room, and we thought that the odor that it was coming up on might have just been the food. And so we ended up moving it. But what's so funny is I think the odor is actually my children. Because now every time my children go near it, it's like, oops, something's dirty, something stinks. And I'm like, yeah, they've been at school all day. Exactly. And so this is really nice. You can even Joe mentioned earlier that there is an app for it. I can even say when we come home, let's say we turned the air off for a little while in our house.
So just so you can.
It's big, right? If we turn the air off in the house for a little bit, I could say, okay, the house smells kind of stagnant. I want to do what they're calling, is it called the turbo clean?
It's got a turbo clean. Yeah.
I want to do the turbo clean, and you can have it run for a half hour, an hour, 2 hours, however long you want, just so that it can try to clean out all that stagnant air that is currently there. I have really, really enjoyed this. And so when I saw that it was on deal today, I said, okay, we need to cover that with our people. They need to know about it. All right. Joe's going to now show you my next favorite item. And he's going to laugh and tell you why this is one of my favorite items.
It's the Lasko oscillating fan. It goes on every night in our room. It provides a nice, gentle hum. You can adjust the setting. It has 3 different speeds. You can have it oscillating or not oscillating. You can even set it on a timer if you want it on a certain amount of time. So it does come with a remote as well. So you do have some options there. It even has a function called night on it. So we have this on every night. Like I said, 3 different settings, gentle breeze versus, gale force wind. But, we usually put it on the lowest setting, and it's just enough where
we're having a visitor come in right now.
Provides a little bit of sound.
Who needs help with her
honey,
umbrella.
I will have to fix this later.
So here's a couple of things that I like about this one specifically.
Go on.
So this I have blowing on me at night just because I get really hot at night. I like to be cold when I'm in the bed. I like to be in a cold bed. I cannot stand being hot. No, my house is not hot. It's just me. It's me and all of my issues that I have, and how sometimes I'll be freezing cold and then sometimes I'm super hot and pouring sweat as if I just went and ran a marathon. So for me, this kind of blowing in almost basically in my face all night long, and the noise that comes with it as well is kind of what soothes me at night. And I like for both that to be blowing on me as well as the ceiling fan in the room. So it creates what Joe calls a vortex around him, basically, where he's like snuggled up and freezing, and he's like, I got it blowing from this side, and then it's blowing down this way, and I'm just sitting here shivering. Poor Joe. But for me, this is a must-have. We also have one of these upstairs in our guest room as well, and before we did our insulation, it would get a little sticky upstairs, especially when it's 100 degrees outside. And so my mom would always have this on as well, and then she was leaving it on constantly. So these are great to have just in general. The size of them is also really nice because it does kick out some nice air.
And it's about 3.5 feet tall. Yeah.
Right. It's a good size. Okay. The very next item that Joe is going to show for you, hold on, I have to log back in, is our Fire TV. Oh. Now, I got yelled at for buying this until it came in and he saw how easy it was to set it up. So I'll let you talk to them about, let's see how big it is first.
All right. So I just wanted to bring in the box because obviously it is mounted to the wall right now. But I did want to give you guys an idea of, how big it is. It is a 50-inch TV. It has a very narrow bezel or edge around the whole outside. So, what you see is what you get, almost the full screen. Is there now? Granted, what's on the box is not how big it is. It's actually as big as the box, pretty much.
You can put the box down and show yourself now, honey. So here's some things that I want to say about this TV. One, I got it. We did not have a TV in our bedroom. And I think Joe was a little unsure about whether or not he wanted the TV in the bedroom. There was already, the previous owner had left one of those TV mounts up on the fireplace that kind of swivels and pivots out.
Yeah.
So the reason that I wanted to get the 50-inch, especially in the Fire TV, was because everything's, you should have showed him the back of the box. Everything's already preloaded onto the TV. So it lists on there Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, Hulu, Disney Plus, IBD-TV, HBO Max, ESPN, Sling, Paramount Plus. And you don't have to buy anything extra. So all of our other TVs have a Fire Cube. They have a Fire Stick. I think we have one other smart Fire TV like this in the playroom. And every time I would go down to the playroom, I would realize, gosh, my kids are able to just hit on the remote wherever they want to go. And they're not having to worry about where they're pointing it or what else is there. It's just the TV. It's a smart TV. For me, I grabbed this right before the holidays last year because I really like to watch holiday movies. And I like to watch TV while I go to sleep, or Joe goes to sleep and I watch movies. Yep. So I initially got in trouble for getting this, but Joe, tell them how easy this was to set it up.
Yeah, it's really one of those things where once you hook it up to the internet, if you already have other Amazon devices hooked up, it'll link to them within the house. So it did ask, hey, is this so-and-so? You hit yes, and then it loads up all your preferences. Now, you do still have to download the apps that you want to have on it, like you do with any Amazon device. But it's easy to do. It's easy to hook up to Wi-Fi. It was easy to install as well.
Actually, this one took the restore. So like it said, do you want to restore your backup from your Fire Cube? And I hit yes, because the Fire Cube's in our main room. So it already had all of my saved preferences, everything. So for me, this was the first TV that I felt like it was just, you plug it in, you hook it up to your Wi-Fi, and you're done.
Spend a little bit of time getting stuff loaded, and then you're done.
You're done. And it's been great. I feel like the picture quality on it is really, really good. I have really enjoyed sitting in bed and having a hot tea at night and watching some of my favorite shows. So I felt like this was worth me getting in trouble for buying it, just saying.
All right.
All right, Joe's also going to go over with you guys. This is, let me show you, It is a cat or dog carrier, first of all. He went over it when we did all of our pet finds. And if you are watching us live right now, you can always watch any of our previous live streams by simply hitting view past live streams or from our storefront as well. So Joe covered this on our pet stream and it seemed to go over really well. And we did have questions about it on social media of like, hey, did it also do this, this, and this? So when I saw it was on deal today, I said, okay, let's let Joe go over all the features of it again and show it, because when he pulls the dog in this, he has everybody wanting.
I also found out something new since last time that I can tell everybody about as well.
Okay, tell us.
All right, so it does have the telescoping handle. And it does have a little strap here to make sure that it stays upright. Now, you don't have to have the handle, the telescoping handle, or the base on there. It does come off. It is Velcro attached to the bottom in a couple of spots if you just want to use it as a carrier. It does have kind of a leash attachment on the inside that you can hook up to their harness. The thing I want to point out, though, is the thing I did not know until recently, and I do want to have it as kind of a warning, too. This has two sides. It has a smooth side and a soft side. So we have a puppy, so I like to put the soft side up. But what I didn't know is this is super absorbent, and after a period of time, you don't see if the dog had dribbled a little bit. So I had put this away in the closet thinking it was dry, and it was not. So we did notice a little bit of odor when we took it out of the closet today, and I'm like, you know what? It looked dry and felt dry, but that's because it's fast drying. It's designed so that if the dog does have an accident, it'll absorb it and it's not going to get all over the dog, which I did not think about. So I will be spray and washing this today. But it's good to know that if your pet does have an accident, it will be absorbent enough where it's not going to leak out of the carrier.
Right, because that is a TSA approved carrier.
Correct.
So, I mean, you don't want them going and then it starts leaking through the bottom
Yeah, so
of the
do
bag.
check though after you've taken him to the vet, because he had a vet visit earlier this week.
Well, I mean, he gets nervous
Yeah.
when he goes there.
So
Bless
it
his
does
heart.
have a couple of options for Velcro on the top, depending on if you just want to have it halfway open and their head can pop out, or if you want to roll it like I had all the way.
Typically, Joe has it rolled all the way up with Frankie poking his head out the top, looking at everybody, just grinning.
It does have the carrier straps this way if you want to hold it. It has another one set of straps for, if you want to put it on your shoulder. In addition to the top, here's we have our pouch for all, like little wipes, doggy bags. If we need a,
Stuff and
pee
things that
pad
you
as
may
well.
need.
It does open on the side too, because like I said, it is TSA approved. The wheels do come off. They'll unclip if you want. So let's just show you there, and they can pop back on if you want them, depending on if you want that too. But he's okay with it. Obviously, he's comfortable in it, and it fits neatly on the floorboard if you want to put them up in the front seat on the floorboard.
It does.
That way they're not moving all around.
Yeah, and that's something that I've been a little funny about. So I used to have 2 small dogs before we had Frankie, and we're doing the mop next if you want to grab it. I'll just tell my story while you do that. I used to have 2 dogs before we had Frankie, and they would just run around the back seat. And then I kind of realized that was probably not the greatest for me to do, because if something were to happen and you were to be in a wreck, then your dog is just kind of knocked around everywhere. So now we're a little overly precautious with our puppy now, and he gets harnessed in and buckled in or in a carrier in a harness to where if the airbags come out, he's still going to be okay and things like that. So speaking of our puppy, Joe has had some experience with this next item, which is our O-Cedar spin mop. So
Am I back on?
You are back on.
All right. So, had a couple of accidents in the foyer, and this comes with multiple different heads. They snap in here. Probably hear that. There you go. All right. And then it does have this mop head, which I had screwed in already, but it has the ability to, lengthen a little bit there. You can tighten it up to make sure it doesn't go. Sorry, I'm going to tighten that one in. I want to move the bigger one like this. Lock it in place. See? And then the coolest thing about this,
I don't even think that I knew that it did that.
And Jen may need to kind of point this down. After you get this wet, and I think this is the coolest thing. Watching?
Yep.
This goes in here. You hit the foot pedal, and granted, this is all going to be hanging inside when it's wet. It spins out the mop so that you don't have excess liquid.
Wet. Yeah.
And then you can go from there, and you could hit it a couple of times. Just want to show it spins, and then all of the water, or I should say, a good portion of the excess water goes inside the bucket, and then you can go on mopping.
Okay.
But,
so about how many times are you having to re-wet the mop? So let's say just for the full.
I mean, you can see when it starts getting dirty, and then this mop head has been used. Mm-hmm. You can rinse it out with warm water, and this was dark. This was a dark gray when I got done. Now, it may be a little bit darker than when it was brand new, but looks really greght.
It actually does, and you can wash those too, right?
You have to rinse them out. You don't wash them in the washer, but you can rinse them out with light detergent or warm water.
I mean, they're technically getting antibacterial with what we use. So I took a video of Joe with his dog when he was using this spin mop, having to clean up the dog's mess. And poor Frankie, he was sitting just patiently watching Joe the whole time. And it seemed to go over really well over on social media. They liked it. They thought it was funny. All right, I'm going to let you get set up for some of our smaller items. Yep. And I'm going to go ahead and show you all some of the smaller items directly myself. All right. Another thing that is on deal today, this is called the U-Like, I'm hoping it's U-Like, laser. See right here on this bottom right here? You charge this side over here. You place this portion right here. This whole gold thing is cooling. So when you put it on your skin, it's going to feel very, very cold because the internal section right here is the actual IPL laser that is going to go doot, and then you just keep scooting up your skin. What I like, and thank you for the follow, and hello How are you? So I'm seeing you guys starting to chat now. I'm seeing there's a lot of people viewing as well. So if you have questions, please ask us. That's what we're here for. This IPL laser, I have used many before. Let me just go ahead and clarify that. This is my favorite. And so when I saw it was on deal today, I said, okay, I have to show them this. I've had this about, I'd say 2 months now. And so I have been using this on my legs as a trial. Once I get through the 12-week-ish mark, I am going to do a video on the results for this for my legs. They do come with a small razor as well as these sunglasses, because you are going to want to wear these while you're doing this, because you do not want this light that comes out. You don't want your eyes on that. Let me see actually if I can turn this on. I don't think I can, because we're not plugged in and it doesn't charge it that way. You do have to plug it in order to use it. So upstairs, I've been using this about once a week. So I'll be honest, sometimes I'm only using it once every other week because I just forget. There is an automatic mode and then an individual kind of direct hit mode. So depending on the area that you're doing, if you're doing a smaller area, you might want to do this just kind of direct hit. You stop, you pull off, and then you go back down. Or if you're doing a large area like your legs like I do, you're just going to want to put it on the automatic mode, because then you can just hit, move, hit, move, hit, move, hit, move. And it just makes it a lot quicker. The cooling effect that this has is also really nice, because then you don't feel like you're kind of overheating or your skin's getting irritated or anything like that. So this is my favorite IPL laser, and it is on deal today. Another item that I'll go over while Joe is getting set up is something that people on social media have really made fun of me for, but I feel like, you know what, y'all can make fun of me because I've got 2 screens and y'all are sitting there trying to work from your laptop or your iPad, and I'm working a lot faster. This is my dual monitor. Yes, it is on deal today. All you do for this, you can fold this out. The bottom is also going to act like a stand for you. So when you have it flat, it will simply just kind of sit like this. The only thing you have to do in your laptop, your iPad, your whatever you're working on, Mac, who cares? This, as long as there is a USB-C port for you to plug in here and then plug the other side over to whatever device you're using, then you can extend your monitor and have 2 monitors. I am in love with this thing. I took this up to the pool while my kids were swimming, and I was working on 2 monitors. I was in meetings. I was doing my spreadsheets, everything that I needed to do. It has a really, really nice, very clear monitor. You can see photos of this over on my storefront as well. You can additionally take this out and turn it up this way if you prefer to have the portrait instead of landscape monitor. It's just a monitor extension, basically. Another thing I'm going to go over, I have a picture of it, and so I'm going to go over where we have that. And you're back on screen now. Hi. Joe had to take off his banana outfit, but don't worry, he still has on a banana shirt because the deals are bananas. I think it's cute. Okay, this is my Life Pro. You're going to see the box for it right back here behind me. It is a Rejuva wrap. So this is an infrared sauna wrap that you can lay in. These have gotten, in my opinion, just really big, probably in the last year. There's all different kinds, and this has been my favorite. So Life Pro makes this, and for me specifically, I have a lot of like joint issues, joint concerns, and things like that. You can see that this mat lays on the floor right next to my Peloton bike, because after I get off the bike, sometimes I feel like the bike did a really great job, but then I feel like, okay, I'm going to get stiff. Like, I know I'm going to get stiff. I know that this is not going to be great for me. I will go and lay after I work out in this sauna mat with that infrared kind of heat and light going, and then I feel, me personally, I feel like I'm not as stiff and I feel a little bit better. A lot of people like to have these as well just as the actual sauna so that they sweat more, and that's okay too. There is a whole manual inside of this when you get it that tells you all the different levels and how long to stay in at that level for different things. You can probably also, if you open the listing page on this, it will probably tell you a lot of those things as well. But because we are not medical professionals, we are not going to get into all of that for you today. All right, the next item you guys might laugh at, but it's some of our favorite things.
Amazon Aware 100% bamboo toilet paper. And we've been using this for a little while now, and I'm just going to use
This is my favorite.
a real life example of why bamboo is probably a little bit better.
Tell us, Joe.
If you know anything about bamboo, it grows like crazy. So, getting toilet paper or any type of paper product from bamboo is going to be more sustainable than, getting it from a tree. But as a dad with 2 little girls, and this is real life experience, I can tell you this. With regular toilet paper, I can't tell you how many times I was having to plunge the toilet because we have 2 little girls who love to just throw toilet paper in the toilet. This, I can say, from my own experience, they're doing the same things, and I'm not having to plunge the toilet as much. So in that regard, as a dad, this
he
paper
can appreciate
is
this.
still as strong as regular toilet paper made with paper from trees, but it does not, at least in my experience with 2 little girls, age 4 and 6, is not resulting in as many plunging experiences as I've had in the past.
Correct. So when you open this up, I don't know if the listing page tells you this or not, but part of the reason that we like bamboo, and he's saying he's not having the plunging issues, is because once it hits the water, it kind of starts not dissolving, but almost like separating. It doesn't stay clumped up like normal toilet paper does. And we told some of our friends that came to visit us about this, and they kind of got a little quiet, and I thought, well, maybe they just don't want to talk about toilet paper. Then later it came out that they have a son who lives in their basement, and if you guys know about basements, the water has to make it back up, right, to leave.
If you have a pump.
Right, they have a pump, and it's got to, and they said that they were constantly having pump issues at their house, and so they went and bought bamboo toilet paper as well. However, we have tried 5 different kinds now because I really got on this whole bamboo kick. This is hands down. I pulled this out for the first time and I said, oh my gosh, this is soft. This is thick. This is nice. So this is now on our, subscribe and save, because this has been our hands down favorite. And so when I saw that it was on deal today, I'm like, it's the best one. Okay. Joe is going to show you all next. I work a lot because I work from home. Obviously, I'm a content creator full time. And we have 2 little kids. Our kids are the kind of kids that they want you to sit right up on them at all times. They want to be physically seeing you no matter what they're doing. And especially when they're not feeling good, sometimes that means you've got to just sit wherever they are and you've got to make it work. So I saw this on deal today and I want you guys to see it. This is a couch or chair arm tray. So you want to show them how it works?
Yeah, you got it on me.
It's on you.
All right, so it does have a spring-loaded base. It does have kind of a rubberized base on both sides here. Silicone, feels like silicone to me. This kind of goes over the edge of your arm on your couch or love seat or chair, whatever you have. It's about, 1.5 feet long. It is recessed.
So if you spill, it stays on there.
It should catch it in here.
Yes.
Or whether it's a solid or a liquid. It does have a space if you want to put your tablet in it.
Or
and it can turn. And the thing is, we have this on one side of the couch. I think we have a different one on the other side of the couch, but love them both. This is the biggest one we have, and I think Jen uses this one a little bit more.
I use that one more. So I use that one more because I typically will have my iPad sitting up inside of it. Then I'll have my phone in my hand, and then I'll have whatever I'm snacking on in my coffee sitting there. And a lot of times I'll be watching on my iPad a meeting that I'm in or a Zoom call that I'm in, and then I'm on my phone still creating content. So I'm working, I'm multitasking, but I'm doing it from the sofa where my children are comfortable where I am, basically. All right, the next item I'm going to show you all because this is one of my favorite items. Joe thinks it's silly, but I think it's fantastic. This is a glass, it is a pickle jar, first of all, but I have my olives in here because I love olives. I try to snack on healthier things, and olives for years have been something that I really love to snack on, especially when we make our cheese boards for movies. And then even last night I said, hey, was that night before last? I said, hey, get me some, pimento cheese with crackers and olives, and it was fantastic. So what this does is you're going to put all of your liquid with your pickles or your olives or whatever you're storing that's in liquid inside here. Then when you're ready to get some out, all you have to do is flip this over, and then all the liquid is going to go, or the majority of the liquid, if it's full, will go over onto this other side that has kind of like a silicone base. Then you can unscrew your lid and you can get your olives or your pickles or whatever you're wanting to get out of here, because there's no liquid down in there anymore. So it just makes it easier. I kind of laughed at myself because I thought, gosh, I've been trying to fish out olives from the bottom of these little glasses for way too long, just way too long. So I think that this is great, and I saw it was on deal, and I wanted to show you guys. Joe is now going to show you guys our cookware.
So this is the Kitchen Academy induction cookware. This is just one piece of the set, but I do want to preface this with a story. When we bought this house about 1.5 years ago, it has a cooktop. I've had cooktops before, but I'm sitting there with our old cookware, and I'm like trying to melt butter to make grilled cheese, and nothing is happening. And I'm like, what is going on?
There was like an hour that went by.
Yeah,
I have to tell you, there was an hour that went by.
What is going on? And I didn't know what was going on. And I was like, something's wrong with this. It's not working. And, after a while, Jen's like, it's an induction top. And then I'm like, well, what does that mean? And she's like, it's got to have the right bottom for an induction top. So I think that it's more of a safety feature. So if you have anything else, it's not going to heat up the surface. It has to be a specific pot or pan that matches with an induction bottom. And that way, when it's not making contact, it shuts off. So it won't stay hot because there's nothing for it to have that induction surface on. So thankfully, we did have one pan somewhere that somebody had given us, or we had bought at one point in time in the past, that did have an induction bottom that we were able to use. And then we immediately ordered a set. And I use this quite regularly. It does have a nonstick surface. So I make eggs, bacon, whatever you want to say, for, this to get it as greasy or nasty as possible. And it cleans either by hand or in the dishwasher quite well.
Really well.
And you can see the induction bottom on here. Very nice. And it does have this kind of, I don't know what this is on the handle.
It looks like wood.
It looks like wood, but it feels great. It's got a little bit of a grip on it.
Yeah.
And, we use these, I use them, Jen uses them pretty much on a daily, if not multiple times a week basis when we're cooking.
And one thing that I do want to add to this is we had pots and pans. We had a ton of pots and pans because Joe had a whole house before we got married. I had a whole house before we got married. And then we have been slowly giving away pots and pans. But I've noticed that since we've bought these, we always use these.
Yep.
Regardless of what else we have, we always use these because I am the worst when it comes to getting things stuck. Or the pasta sauce sitting and then staining and then someone having to scrub. And the old pots and pans, I felt like you were always mad at me because you're like, oh my gosh, this is never going to come off. And now I'm having to sit in here and scrub it. And these, we've not had that problem. They're wiping clean, they're cleaning in the dishwasher, and they're great. And so I have had a lot of questions about hey, are you still liking these on videos that I've uploaded in the past of these specific pots and pans? And the answer is yes. We use them on a daily basis. They've held up really well. We don't just hand wash them. We do throw them in the dishwasher. Even I throw them in there dirty. But Joe rinses, I don't.
I might pre-rinse.
He pre-rinses, I don't. That's fine. All right, the next item I'm going to go over with you all. This is a hand warmer, and I know that it's getting ready to be sports season. You're going to be going to soccer games, you're going to be going to football games, you're going to be outside, you're going to be tailgating and all that jazz. Even if you're not, let's say you're just going and standing in line, during Black Friday, you're going to need something to keep your hands warm. What's nice about these is that they do kind of magnetize and go together. They also can be used separately or together. And it's this side. This side opens and you'll see that there's also a USB port and a USB-C port on here as well. So what's nice is these are not just hand warmers. They can also be a backup charger for you if you need it. And so when I said that you could use one versus the other, so this one, I have it on full power and this one I do not. It's already hot in my hand. It's already getting hot in my hand. So you could put these down in your pockets. You know, if you're doing with your phone on this hand and you're not using this one, keep it turned off. But then if you need this one down in your pocket so you can hold it and keep your hands warm, then you can use one at a time. To turn it off, you simply push that same button on the top to turn it off, and then they stay together like this, thrown down in your bag. I really like these and I use these a lot. I think they're also great if you're looking for small little things to just kind of throw in someone's stocking, or, you know, give somebody at work. You know, I used to work with people all the time. They would wear gloves on their hands at work because they said they were freezing while they were typing. And this is great. You know, if anybody gets cold hands, this is great. For me, I also have, like I said, joint issues. And so sometimes just warming up my hands, even if I'm not cold, helps, just because for me personally, I found that heat has helped me. Another item that I'm going to show you guys is something that I've been using when we go outside to have our movie nights. I'm not going to turn it on in here because we are in an indoor space, but this is the Thermacell. This is, they call it a patio shield. It's basically going to keep all those flying mosquitoes away, or that's what I use it for. On the bottom, you're going to see that it's off right now. Right there. And then you can also have it on, and then there's a start over here. So you push it all the way over to the start, and then you're gonna see, just like the sticker says, a little orange glow inside here. That is going to start coming up out of this top up here, and then it says that there's a no spray, scent-free 15-foot zone. So basically making yourself like a bubble where your flying insects are not going to want to come. It does come with this little guy right down here that you just pop up in there. That is also, once that is empty, you can get replacements for that. So I have 2 of these right now because we were planning on doing kind of a bigger outdoor, you know, the big inflatable screen movie night with some of our kids' friends. And if they were going to come over, then I was going to set 2 of these together so we could have like, you know, 2 separate 15-foot zones that we were keeping all the mosquitoes away. Now, we did go out and we watched Little Mermaid, right? Mm-hmm. We watched Little Mermaid outside for my daughter's 4th birthday. And I did not get bit while we were using this, but I was also sitting right next to it. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm sitting next to this. This is going to be for me. So I think these are great. And I think the idea of them is also wonderful because I'm not a huge fan of like that citronella smell or a bug spray smell. And I'm also a person that bugs typically bite me no matter me putting bug spray on or not. Okay, Joe's going to go over the very next item for you.
This is the Vac Life tire inflator pump.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I do want to point out is it does have that DC adapter. Now it's going to date me a little bit. It used to be called a cigarette lighter port,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't seen a cigarette lighter in a car in a long time. So this is a port for your DC voltage that you would use in a car for, you know, they have the other attachments. You can do USB outlets and things like that. It does have attachments, which unfortunately I left in the car, that will hook into the back of the tire inflator. It does come with like the 4 standard ones, you know, for like inflatables and balls and things like that. This does pop into a little pouch in the back. The other thing it does have is it has the on-off switch, and then it does have a light, which you can see right here.
Because, I mean, most people, this is just my opinion, right? Most people who are going to need to pull this out of their trunk and they have a flat tire, a lot of times you're not going to be able to see that well because it might be dark outside. Or even if it's not dark outside, you might be going, oh my gosh, what am I looking at? And you have to put a light on it to be able to see it. Especially if you're trying to look for where, like, is there a nail in your tire? You're trying to look all up underneath where it's dark under there. So I did try this light out by my car in the garage just to see if the light was really bright, and it is. And I could see kind of all up underneath that section where the tire is, and I could see the whole tire really, really well.
You see it does fit in here into the little handle pouch area there. It does have little foam pads on the bottom too. The other thing I will say is when you do have this plugged in, again, I don't have a DC adapter here right now, but this lights up a little bit and you can adjust the pressure up and down. You can also reset.
Yep.
So that'll show up here. So then once you attach it to the tire, it'll read the current pressure.
Correct.
And then whatever pressure you have set, once you hit the go button, it'll inflate exactly to that pressure.
Correct. And so I got this for my car just so that you guys have a little bit of background for this. I hate having to try to find a gas station that has an air pump for your tires at it, especially if my car comes up and says, hey, your air pressure is low. And I'm going, okay, what am I supposed to do about that? And I don't know where I am right now. I don't even know if there is a gas station anywhere near here. I would much rather, instead of getting out my phone trying to find somewhere to go, pull into the nearest place that looks safe and get this out of my trunk and just go do it myself without having to find money to pay this air, machine at a gas station. And I just don't, I just don't like getting out of my car, especially if I have my kids still in the car. I just get kind of nervous about that, doing all that kind of stuff. So this is why I got it. And this lives in the trunk of my car. Another item that I'm going to go over, which is on deal today, and it looks like, based on what I see on my end, is also on lightning deal. Joe can tell you, I have many of these. I have, oh my gosh, probably at least 30 at least. I have a lot of these. Every time these go on deal, I get them. I was trying to figure out postpartum, what I wanted to wear, what was comfortable, what was working. And so I had a whole lot of stuff that I just threw out. I had a lot of shapewear, and then I found I was wearing shapewear every day, which is not great either. And I just really wanted something that was comfortable and it fit and it didn't dig into me and it was easy to wash and it didn't cost me a fortune. So this is what I get. These are I'm probably butchering it, the Warapa. This is women's underwear, and I do get, actually I have a lot of these. I do get the briefs. I also have the boy shorts. I didn't think that I had the boy shorts, but I had them on the other day. But they make all different ones if you wanted to look at these. They also have different colors that you can get as well. So if you like to have a color, that's fine. I tend to stick to the beige, black, gray, white, that kind of thing for me. But they are super, super comfy, and they are definitely an Amazon find, right? Another thing that I do want to go over with everyone, because it is fall, okay? And fall is my personal hardest time. And this morning, taking my daughter to school, I was constantly giving her tissues because we have fall allergies, and fall allergies can lead to, mucus and sneezing and itchy eyes and all that kind of stuff. One thing that I do want to tell everyone is that Amazon does have your kind of basic generic over-the-counter medicines that you can grab. And this specifically that we use at our house, I think we've all taken one today, is on deal today. So I'm going to be stocking up as soon as we get off of this live, because I saw it and I said, hey, we have that. We just took it. All right, Joe, it's your turn.
So I have the Bottom India organic Himalayan green tea, and I do want to show, because we don't just have packages of this.
We drink it.
There were 100 of these in here, and you can see that's
there's not
pretty much empty. There are 4, I think, left.
Right.
And that's mostly me, because Jen doesn't drink the green tea. I drink the green tea.
I try. I'm trying to get off coffee, and I'm trying to drink green tea, matcha, things I'm trying. I really am. I'm trying. Yeah. Don't throw me under the bus like that, man.
So I drink it just because I don't tolerate dark tea as well. So, I love the taste of it.
I like the dark tea. Send me all the dark tea, all of it.
But I have these. We have quite a few different ones, but the green tea I drink at least probably 1 cup on a daily basis, usually at night after the kids go to bed. Jen has her dark tea. I have my green tea. Especially as it gets a little bit colder out, it's always nice to have a cup of tea before bed. Add a little honey to it or something else.
Yeah.
Great flavor. Like I said, they have a bunch of different options for this, but
they do.
Like I said, 100 tea count bags. There's only about 4 left.
Is it really? There's only 4 left. So what's funny is we worked I think it was before last Halloween. So about this time last year, we worked with Vadam India. And so I did not realize they are literally farm from India to an Amazon warehouse directly to us. There is no like middle person other than it just goes to the Amazon warehouse.
And it's climate neutral, plastic neutral.
Correct.
They do donate, was it 1% for education?
Yes, for their farmers. They donate back to their farmers, which is really great. So there's a lot of things about them that I really liked. And then when we started taste testing their tea, I thought, oh my gosh, what have I been drinking?
We did that live.
We did do it live. I'm like, what have I been drinking? Because if this is what tea should taste like.
And I'm not running out of this, by the way. We have another 100 count bag of this on top of other stuff that we have from them. So we started last year, like Jen said, and we're continuing to buy from them on a regular basis, as well as giving it as gifts.
So speaking of their gifts too, with Vadam India, they make little gift sets, right, that are super, super cute. And they have them of the loose leaf teas and things like that. And they also have the Christmas sets, which is what Joe was so excited about last year with them. But I saw that they were on deal today, and obviously we like it because it's basically empty. The next item that Joe's going to show you is our children's favorite. Like, they go gaga over these things.
This is the Amazon Fire HD10 for kids, the Pro tablet. And we asked her, what did she want? What type of case did she want? Because it does pop out of the case. It doesn't have to stay in the case. You could have it just like the adult versions. You can be with or without a case. And it's very slim, you can tell, compared to some of the other kids ones we've had where it has the thicker bumper for a smaller kid in case they drop it. But it's still a rubberized hard shell. It does have the stand in back that can flip up and down. She chose the one with all the different, kind of symbols, colorful symbols, rainbows, eyes, flowers, smiley faces, things like that. That kind of reflects our oldest personality.
She's our little hippie child. She's very just kind of...
and it does have the ability to connect into your Amazon account, and then you set the parental controls for your children. You have a password control on this so that they can't go in and change it. It does have the ability to have both forward-facing and outward-facing, front and face-facing cameras, depending on what you want to do with it. Our kids FaceTime with the grandparents all the time on here.
They ask to constantly.
They have the Facebook, Messenger type app on here so they can call their cousins, and they love doing that. Plus, any videos we have on our Amazon account, we can choose which ones go directly on here through the functions built in on the tablet.
Is that charged or no?
I'm going to see if it is.
I don't know if they're going to be able to see the monitor or not, but we will try. One thing that I want to point out about this Fire 10 Pro is that, in my opinion, the difference between this and the 8 that she had before is like the screen resolution is wonderful.
She also had an older generation, so
She did. She had an older generation, and we thought that they had lost them somewhere. I believe that it was either me or them, had placed them into our phone soap or home soap that, like, UV light cleans things, and then forgot that they were there. So that's how they got these new ones. However, I'm glad that they got these new ones because there's a lot of... the screen is bigger, the screen is clearer, they're faster, they can call and video with their grandparents, they can actually hear each other, and it's really, really nice that they can do that.
So,
can they see? Yeah, you can, kind of angle it, so instead of having it straight on, can you turn it?
Like that? I'm trying to see if...
No.
This way?
Can you do it down a little?
Down?
No. I think it's just a screen on a screen. Yeah, it's a glare.
I can always walk closer.
We can see. Let's see if you walk closer, if we can still see it.
Now you're going to have to tell me if I'm in the right position.
You are in the right position. Go a little closer, but angle it maybe down. No, I think it's not going to show.
All right.
But I will say, there is no way that your kid, especially with the Amazon, kids, they used to call it free time. I'm not sure what they call it now. But all of the stuff that your kids can have on that, the games, the videos, the books, the learning apps, everything that's on there, there's no way that they can get bored. And plus, you can also kind of control what age you want your child to be able to see things up to. So I have a 6-year-old, so I think I have her set to six things. She learned my password and then bumped herself up to 8. So we're gonna have to change that password. But they can spend all day on this. We don't let them. They only get these when we're traveling, or basically if they've been really good, they'll trade in, some screen time aside from getting one of their coupons for doing good things. But I really like these. Like Joe said, you can take anything that you've gotten on your Fire Stick. So we bought the Little Mermaid movie. We can push the Little Mermaid over to their tablets and then have them download it so they can watch it in the car. I can kind of cherry pick how long they can be on there on the parental dashboard side. So I can say, hey, this tablet can only be on between 3 and 6 p.m. and then it just shuts itself down. So on my end, that as a parent, that makes it a lot easier to take a tablet away from a child that just the screen says, okay, your time's up for today, as opposed to they're still playing their game and I'm trying to pull the tablet from them. So it's parent friendly as well.
Yeah, and it has just want to point out some of the features. This has the expansion slot on it, I believe, as well, for the micro SD card. And you can manage the storage. You can't see this, but I'm just going to go through this. You can manage the storage. You can put a low power mode on here. You can put a blue shade mode, on here as well. It does have an auto rotate, so if you turn it, it'll orientate the screen. Right. It has both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, so if your kids have a Bluetooth headset they want to wear, they can use that here. But it also has a jack for headphones as well. So you can put that on there and use a headphone jack, or you can have a wireless headset. Of course, it has the airplane mode if you're on an airplane and you want to make sure you turn off everything. Which is what we
use this for the most.
Yeah. But the kids love it. They'll, it's great for them as an option. And again, you can't see it, but if I press something in which I'm trying to go to a specific setting, it pops up a screen that says, hey, here's your parent's name or names, depending on what it is. When you hit that, it pops up a keypad where you have to enter your PIN code. So they can't go in and change things that would give them additional access or impact the functionality of the tablet if they don't have that code.
Right. So it really is kind of, it's a kid safe device. You set it up with what you're comfortable with as a parent for your child being able to see. And let's say, for instance, you set your child to see something up to age 6 because you have a 6-year-old, but then you don't like some of the stuff that's on there. You can also go in and remove that as well, even though it is rated child appropriate for that age.
And I do want to show you that it's not just a stand.
It's a carrier.
You can extend it. If your kid wants to hold it, they can hold it, and it doesn't have to be just a stand.
Right. Okay, I am going to go over and I'm going to pull down, let's see, we're going to take our sauna photos down because you guys already saw those. And then we are discussing the Fire Cube next because it is on deal today. This is our Fire Cube. It is obviously sitting upstairs right in front of our TV. This was something that we bought during our last move for our kind of main TV hub down in the middle. Somebody says you're bananas. So for the Fire TV Cube being on deal, I almost bought another one today just because I really like the Cube. We have Fire Sticks as well, which look more like this. And I know earlier when we were talking about the Fire TV, I was telling you all that I like having the Fire TV because then you don't have to have this Fire Stick or the Fire Cube. But if you have TVs already and you don't need a TV, my recommendation, just purely for the storage, I feel like, on it and how much you can have on it, would be to get the Fire Cube. What do you think?
And I think the Fire Cube's nice because it does have the Alexa functions on it.
Correct.
You can ask Alexa to do something, and she will. And just to preface, that Cube is very glossy, so you actually see the reflection of our puppy.
Yeah,
it really is a glossy finish on it. You see him laying on kind of his bed in there.
He's got his bed with his pillow on it. He's chilling.
That's the remote that comes with it, which you can, it's a little hard to see, but it does have automatic buttons where you can go to Amazon Prime or Netflix,
yes,
things like that. where you can go directly to it, or you can just go through your list of apps. It's easy enough to use where my 4-year-old can turn it on and figure out, how to get to her shows, or our 6-year-old. And I will say it is nicer if you're looking for something that can hold a little bit more, is a little bit faster, responsive. It is the higher end model from the Amazon lineup. And, it's really nice to just be able to say, Alexa, turn on the TV, or Alexa, turn on channel, 36, whatever it may be. And it can do that.
It can do that, which is nice. All right, so that is, I believe, that is our full lineup for today. I'm going to go all the way back to the very beginning because I know that we've had people kind of coming and going and coming and going. And so if there's anything and you're a current viewer right now that you would like for us to go back and go over, or you have additional questions on, then just let us know over in the chat. I will tell you that someone's saying, you guys are bananas. And yes, we are bananas. The deals are bananas. Joe has on his banana shirt.
Yeah, I had a full-size banana costume on for about the first 15-20 minutes of the show.
So if you missed it, then you can watch it on demand and you can go back and see Joe in his banana costume. But that is going to be it for our deal stream today. We will be back, of course, next Wednesday as well. We try to go live around 12:05, but if we're having technical difficulties, it might be pushed back like today was. But Wednesdays at 12:05 p.m., look for us, or at least hit that alert over on the side. You can also tap follow from your screen right here on ketosismom.live, which is Amazon Live. You can additionally tap follow from the storefront, and that's amazon.com/shop/ketosismom. Thank you guys for following and supporting us, and you want to wave too, Joe? We will see you guys next week. Bye, y'all.